that fight. Hickson's not doing shit. Shouldn't say that. But he's just getting thrown around. He's doing a lot of, but like Zuda's huge and strong. You fight some massive guy who's going to be throwing you all over the place. Yeah? Controller's not. The other person can't move. Yeah? Right? Controller's being able to guide the fight. And if the guy's really massive, a lot of the time he's going to be dictating where the fight goes. Yeah? It's up to you to have the experience to be able to go with it and know what moves you're going to go with and what you're going to try and block and frame against. Yeah? Right? But when I went from like 100 kilos to like 72, that's when I mean obviously at 100 kilos and like, I don't know, 5% body fat or whatever, right? And then at 72 kilos and like 5% body fat, it's very, very different the way that you look at everyone you're fighting. Yeah, right? Your strategy has to change. Yeah, and if you're the smaller person, yeah, then frames will work to a degree if they're done well, but you have to like accept that the other person is going to drag you around the mat. Hence, one of the reasons why I love knee rides so much. Because even from side control, big guys will just just shoot you off. Yeah, right? So all the big guys bench pressing you all the time, push you into knee ride. So you don't try and hold there, you don't have to stay there. Yeah, right? That's why we have all these different positions for you to be able to move through. So if you go to do a move, you go to do hip bump sweep and you go to do it, the person pushes into you, or they lift their hips or whatever it happens to be, and you start going back, your job is not to keep going forwards. Yeah? Your job is to figure out how you can use this momentum now. Right? So that's why I'm big on telling you guys, accept failure. Like, think everything's going to fail. Yeah? Drill it so it's like near perfect. But when you go to roll, yeah, expect it to fail and go, what's behind it? So that's why I was showing you hip bump sweep and Kimura pair up very, very well. Super well, because as soon as you go for the hip bump, he pushes into you, that momentum is pushing you onto your back for the Kimura. Likewise, if you're going for the Kimura and he pulls back, then now you're just changing and working with the other person. Yeah, right? So the only reason why you would persist with something when there's a lot of resistance is because you don't have anything in the opposite direction to work with. Yeah, right? So if you're drilling, the next step is not like, hey, I'm going to try and resist this, you try and make it work. Like, that's not the idea. The whole idea is that you would do a totally different technique that works in the same direction that your opponent is now pushing it or pulling it. The same as throwing. Yeah, it's exactly the same as throwing, right? Yeah, is that if I have a throw forwards, I have to have a throw in the opposite direction. Because as soon as I move into the guy, he's going to push at me. Yeah? So now having those two things, you can set people up. You go into them, they push you back, and you throw them this way. Or you turn to throw them this way, they pull back, and you have a backward throw. It's exactly the same in Jiu-Jitsu. Pair everything up. Yeah? Right? Have everything as a combination. Yeah? Right? So from white to blue, for the most part, you're just trying to learn individual moves and then apply them when you're rolling. Right? Okay? But it's specifically designed to fight people in the street who don't know Jiu-Jitsu. That's your white to blue journey. Blue onwards, that's more Jiu-Jitsu versus Jiu-Jitsu. That's where you really start pairing things up, because purple belt is the reward for efficiency. And the efficiency comes from combinations. Same as boxing. You just throw a jab the whole time, you're not getting anywhere. You throw a right hand the whole time, you're not going anywhere. So what do you need? Two things. Because you can go A, B, A, you can fake A, you can hit him with B, you can fake B, hit him with A, you can make lots of combinations and really mess with the guy. So you don't need a million techniques all together. Just pair everything up. Yeah, right? And expect failure. Yeah, yeah. What am I going to do? What's his most likely response? What am I going to do after that? And then don't go any further. Yeah, because something else is going to appear, right? Right? So always think that way. What am I going to do? What are 80% of people going to do? Because some people are going to do a somersault, some are going to run out the door. right? Some people are going to do retarded jumping, weird stuff, whatever it is, right? But what are 80% of people going to do? When I go to do a hip bump sweep, most are going to push into you or try and grab your arm behind your back. Yeah? So what do? If they go for your arm, you can guillotine them. If they push back, then you can go to a Kimura. Yeah? Pair everything up, expect failure. Practice techniques as perfectly as you can so you understand the mechanics of them. Yeah? Right? But then, when you go to do it, expect resistance, but don't meet resistance with more resistance. That's not the point of jiu-jitsu. If you're 30 kilos lighter than the other person, yeah, you're not continuing with that technique. Yeah? Right? When you hit a roadblock, accept it's a roadblock. You drive and you're trying to find your new girlfriend's house and you've driven into a bloody dead end. You don't go, well, she lives over there, I'm just going to drive through this guy's house. It's like, no, you don't do that. Yeah? Right? You turn around, go out of where you came from, yeah, and go around the corner and then find her place. Right? Okay? 1, 2, 3. So,